Hi there, students. Off pat and pat. Well, originally I was going to make this video about off pat, and I was going to give you some pat explanation about the meaning of this. But I looked at this phrase off pat, and the word pat in this context is actually quite interesting and has probably more meat than the phrase off pat. Okay, if you have something off pat, it means you've practiced it completely. You've rehearsed it. You know it very well. So I made him practice his multiplication tables until he had them off pat. Yeah, completely rehearsed, well known. You could have something down pat as well. So the actor needs to know his lines off pat. He needs to have them down pat. So if you know this off pat, it means you know something so well that you don't have to think about it. It's just automatic. So if you're going to speak good English, you need to know all of the verb tenses off pat without thinking about it. The salesman had given his presentation so many times that he had it down pat. He had it off pat. He knew it off pat. He knew it extremely well. Yeah, it was extremely well understood. So now let's get to pat, because I think the pat's more interesting. Let's see, you can use pat as an adverb, meaning exactly at the right moment, but normally we use pat rather negatively. So if you give somebody a pat answer, this is the normal accepted answer. Yeah, it's not got anything special to it. You're disapproving because it's too simple. It's been prepared in advance. Yeah, it's not spontaneous. So the ending to this film was rather pat. Yeah, the same as everything else. It was a bit glib or hackneyed. Yeah, it was a bit easy. Yeah, I think with difficult questions in philosophy, there is no pat answer. I think if you do an exam, you need to give the pat answer that your tutor wants you to use. Okay, so if something is pat, yeah, as an adjective, yeah, it's contrived, it's appropriate, but it's suspiciously appropriate. Yeah, so let's see, it can mean very suited to the occasion, but I think we normally use this pat to say that it's unoriginal. It's the answer that everybody gives. It's the standard answer, and it's got nothing special to it. Okay, so pat, yeah, a pat answer, a remark that's been previously prepared, so it's said without any real thought. If you ask a politician a question, if he answers it, he will probably give you the pat answer, the answer that the party has told him to give. Yeah, the spokesman came out with the pat response, the one that you are always given. Okay, and this is the idea of pat. Notice as well, pat, you can pat somebody. He patted me on the head. Or even a pat of butter, a little piece of butter. But both of those meanings are aside. Yeah, so something pat. Yeah, it's rather trite, it's rather glib, it's not very original. Yeah, so the story of the film is very pat. Yeah, and then to have something down pat or know something off pat, to know it perfectly, readily, it's completely memorized and you're completely familiar with it. Okay, so to have something off pat, yeah, it's completely understood. Let's see, off pat, formality. I think I'm going to give it 4.5 in formality. Um, uh, Use it in an informal conversation, semi-formal conversation, semi-formal writing. I'm not sure I would use this very formally. And then a pat answer. I think again 4.5 in formality, up to semi-formal writing, but no more. And then as to the origin of this, I'm not exactly sure, because the pat, to pat something with your hand, comes from Proto-Germanic plat, to strike, or to beat. But to have something off pat, well, maybe it comes from the same root, but I'm not totally sure. So I hope I haven't given you a pat explanation to this. I hope I've given more than that, and I want you to to have the meaning of this word off pat. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Pat, off pat.